All right. Welcome to Rich Conversations. I'm joined once again by Timothy Hayden in Los Angeles. How you doing?
What's going on?
Your camera looks better today. Did you do something different?
Oh
You're
no,
glowing.
no, I'm facing my window and I had to
Oh,
slide the
okay.
blinds so the light, I guess, is just coming in versus me. Like normally I face the door if I'm in my room. So it's like there's no really light or nothing like that. But I mean shoot, I feel inside too. I feel like I'm going. Yeah, I
You look
had
good.
a thanks. I had a talk with my counselor yesterday. And so we have these scheduled talks once a week where we do like checkups and just moving forward, planning, things of that nature. And I was telling her just I've been setting like this goal to have this strict routine of every day, get up at mostly 5:30. Um well really it's 4:30 to charge my ankle monitor, but then get up at 5:30 and go to the gym every day. Go to the gym, get a good workout in, and just to get my body movement, and then get my
Yeah.
mind going as well. So and doing that I mean, like every single day. Like normally, people would tell you that you want to give your body at least 24 or 48 hours of rest, right? So it can heal.
That sounds
And
normal. Yeah.
it sounds normal, but me personally, I made it like just a routine every day. I mean, Monday through Sunday, I'm in the gym and I'm doing something. So yeah, I don't have to necessarily be working upper body every day. I do have to give my upper body at least 2 days of rest, but there are certain things that a person can do, I believe, every day, which will be sit-ups. You can always do stretching, yoga, you could do legs, and you don't have to do this every day. So normally, like Monday through Fridays, I'm doing upper and lower body. But Monday through Wednesdays, I work on just like calf muscles, and Thursday through Saturday would be more thigh muscles. But Saturday and Sunday, it's like I still get like work on my stomach, my core. I work more on that, and just doing
So
it every.
you're more so like compartmentalizing, like while like a calf or thigh, that's very specific.
Yeah,
While you're doing that, your biceps are resting,
yeah.
like different
So
parts of your body are resting. But in
yeah, no,
general, you're saying like movement every day.
yeah, for sure. So
Okay.
it's like I don't want to just, yeah, like I'm not gonna work on my chest, shoulders, and biceps Monday through Sunday. It's like they're not gonna be able to really grow or heal, as they should naturally. So giving those 2 day break Saturday and Sunday, but I'm still doing something else. I'm always working on something because there is always something of your body that could be work on, every day. So it's like, say if you go to the gym and you want to have bigger arms or a bigger chest, broader shoulders, you can work on that Monday through Fridays. Saturdays and Sundays, give that a rest. If you incorporated squats, calf raises, lunges in your workout as well, Monday through Fridays, then I would give those a rest too. And then you can just make Saturdays and Sundays just all stomach, just all abs, core. You could do that. You
I've
can
been
work on that.
uh I've been aiming to stretch more. So
Yeah.
like I noticed a big difference between like the day after stretching versus not stretching. I noticed uh difference.
Yeah.
And the stretching I mean is like 15 minutes at the beginning of the day and just like static stretches and some lunge
Mhm.
stretches. Um and even just that little bit of amount, that 15 minutes
Yeah.
really makes a difference the next day.
Have you ever tried yoga for like a whole hour?
I did. So I was dating this girl. Uh, this was a while ago. This was maybe like 2016, 2015.
Oh wow.
And
So when I first got locked up.
Yeah. So yeah, a while ago. So um it didn't seem like we had a lot to talk about, but she was in a
Mm.
yoga, so I was like, I'm gonna start doing yoga so we have something to talk about. And I was a member at the YMCA gym, the local YMCA, and they had these classes, these yoga classes in the middle of the day. So I went to like maybe two, and it was like me and a bunch of like middle-aged women. And it was one of the hardest things I've ever done.
Yeah,
I'm just like
yeah.
10 minutes in, I'm just starting to stare at the clock and I'm like, when is this over? I hate this.
It gets intense. It gets
And yeah, so
intense.
there's like a woman who's like 55 next to me, 60, and she's doing it better than I am. And I'm just like, this is but then we like with the girl, we stopped seeing each other and then I didn't have a reason to really do yoga, so I stopped and haven't.
I
So,
believe because I bring this up because I took a yoga class last week, last Wednesday. And yeah, just like you said, like, okay, so I mean I get to the group late. I forgot I get to the group late because I came back from this interview and I'm probably maybe 30 minutes late, but just getting into like the what they were doing. They were starting off in the downward dog, and then we were like, come up in a certain way. And it's like this is going on for an hour straight. So there's an hour left in this group, and it's an hour
oh, it's a
straight. And I'm
lot.
like, yeah, yeah. So
Oh.
like what you said, like 10 minutes into this, I'm starting to look at the time, like, damn, like, and we're taking no breaks. Like there's no breaks at
Yeah.
all. And it's like you feel like the intensity in your breathing. And it's
Yeah,
like
the
you're like,
breathing.
whoa, like, and I'm looking at this one dude across from me, he's drenched in sweat. And I'm like, wow, like, okay, so this is like very intense. And it's like we're doing poses where it's like you have balance on one leg and then you gotta switch over to the other leg. And it's like, I'm like, wow, like just to I'm like for an hour straight though, like no breaks. There's no okay, let's take a 60-second break real quick and then we'll get back. Like we're just going straight through. And I'm like, whoa, like this is serious. So, but overall though, that made my outside of the physical part of it, I would say like my emotional and mental well-being, I felt good after. It's like
Okay.
because for me, it's like any worries that I had, that I'm going through now, all that is thrown out of my head just for the moment. And I'm being present, like this is really
Mm,
because especially like in certain positions where you have to like balance on like say your right leg or something like that, you want to
yeah.
just find uh it's like you want to just find a focus on one single thing,
Mm.
and really focus on your balance and everything. And, from right there, like that was it was cool, you know. That was something I can get into though. And like I know once I'm fully free, I want to be able to maybe like Saturday mornings, Sunday mornings, maybe find where it's like getting part of a yoga class or something like that. And it's very I feel like that's very good. That's something I would suggest to anybody, you know um even if you're not into working out. Yoga, it's very like
Yeah,
it's very
that'd be
therapeutic.
something.
It's very therapeutic.
That'd be something I would explore more. I feel on paper, it would seem like that's something I would want to do. Um, Probably the biggest hurdle for anybody is the idea of setting aside like 45 minutes to an hour to seemingly do something where you're just breathing and stretching. It seems like not productive, or you're not going to make those gains if you're like going in the
Yeah.
gym lifting weights. Um, it'd be interesting if it was marketed more, like the effects of doing yoga were more marketed to general populations, like
Uh,
like the benefits of these breathing and stretching and like clearing your mind. That would be interesting.
Well, people need to, and I used to now understand the benefits of yoga as well. So, and I feel like that's one thing where people need to understand like your breathing is very like important, and also your balance as well. So like you say, you got a lot of these people who they just want to go straight to the gym and lift all these heavy things, where it's like, yeah, that's good and all, but in the long run, you know, you'll probably hurt yourself, for the long haul versus like yoga and stuff like that. It's so many benefits. I believe that yoga gives just like that tranquility that one might be searching for. When you really get into it, when you want to find your inner peace, I feel like yoga helps find that. I feel like it helps finding
Okay.
that inner peace right there. And it's so many people I know in here where it's like, yeah, they can lift a lot of heavy stuff, but have no balance at all. You could tell them to stand on one foot and it's like there's no balance. They probably can't even stand on one foot for more than 5 seconds. It's like they'll tip over or whatever. It's just like, doing push-ups. A person asked me what was the benefit of doing push-ups. Like, that was something we did in prison. And now it's like, why are we doing push-ups when we have all these free weights? And I'm like, just because we're out of prison where we had no free weights doesn't mean that just because now that I'm out with free weights to stop or abandon doing push-ups, because push-ups that was the foundation of right there of building, a solid chest and shoulders, your triceps and everything. That was the foundation right there. So coming back, I'm not gonna abandon that. I'm just gonna continue to incorporate that in what I do with free weights. Because I feel
Mm.
like in the long run, it's like I'm well rounded versus someone who can just you probably can throw 2 plates up there or 3 plates and be able to hit it a few times. But then again, it's like you can't even give me 100 push-ups straight,
Yeah.
and just right there, that kind of shows to me like that shows where your strength really is, and yoga, like it takes strength, trust me, like to do that for an hour straight, like no breaks, that takes it's a lot of mental toughness you got to get through, but it's also like the physical strength and the endurance right there. You have to go through.
I watched this interview with Kobe one time,
Mhm.
and the question was, what advice would you give your younger self, knowing what you know now? And Kobe, without hesitation, he said stretching. Without hesitation, he goes stretching. And that was the first time I thought to myself, oh, I mean, if Kobe's saying stretch, I should look more into this. I should try to incorporate this more.
Yeah, I would amongst other things, I would agree with that too because football, track, basketball, I wouldn't stretch a lot. I just get straight into the workout. And I used
Yeah,
to
because
I
stretching is boring.
yeah,
It
well,
can
I
be.
didn't one, it is boring, and then two, I just didn't really see the benefit in stretching. Like, what's the importance of stretching? Like, I get it, like, so you don't you loosen up any tightness that's in your body. But when you're young, you don't really feel much tightness. You can just jump straight
Yeah,
into a
yeah, yeah.
workout and just not feel it. So, but I realized over time, especially when I got to junior college, playing, I was having all these soreness and all these little minor little pains, hip pains and growing pains, and just due to not stretching. So it's like
Yep.
I be in the game, and it's like I'm trying to fight through this pain that I'm having. It might be like it's a growing pain that I got, or I got a hip pain or whatever, and I'm trying to fight through this, but I'm not playing as effectively as I would if I was just stretch. If
Mm.
I continue like to stretch, like whether it be up early in the morning, that'd be one of the first things I do is just stretch out my body. Feel like how my body is feeling. Listen to it, like where is it tight at? Where does it hurt? And try to get a good amount of stretching in so I can feel loose and be, efficient for a game, because now it's like, and that's really what sports is like teaching us in a way. It's like you want to be able to compete and perform to the best of your ability. You got to bring the best version of yourself out. So if you're not stretching, you won't be able to do that.
Yeah.
And looking back, so I would agree with that advice. Looking back, I would tell my younger self that like you have to stretch your body out. You have to really discipline your body and stretch everything out and treat it like they say it's a temple. You know, take good care of your body. Um, because that's the only way you'll be able to see the best version of yourself come out, whether it be on a football field, a basketball court, or a track field. You know, it's the only way you'll be able to see the best version of yourself come out. So I agree with that. And yeah, Kobe is that's a role model I can't say for me, like especially just his competitiveness, like and just his and he's not the smartest guy, but just how he thinks, like just okay, this is how I need to be.
Yeah.
I can say LeBron James too. LeBron invests $1 million into his body, and I'm like, that's serious.
Hmm.
So with the personal training, the eating properly too, like all that, goes into like just, you know, being, I guess, in tip top shape for whatever it is you're doing. And I think stretching just itself, like you just see how you feel after you get up in the morning, like how, what are ways that we can start our day off right, not feeling, gloomy or anything and just not feeling down or, depressed or nothing like, if we get up, make your bed and stretch, and then see right there, like how you feel just after doing those two simple tasks every day.
I feel like the LeBron thing, I've heard that too. I think I've heard like 2 million. And it seems like that is a lot of nutrition and like fitness education. Like he has access to like all of that education. Whereas, maybe 15 years ago, that education might not have been there. What I'm
Mm.
curious about is 15 to 20 years from now, how will the fitness and nutrition education change from what it is today? Like, what do we not see today that can be improved, you know?
I'm seeing a lot of now, and that's crazy you say that. So on my Instagram page, I'm seeing a lot of people have like a nutrition page basically where it's like they're showing you proper ways of eating. And I'm guessing like just that knowledge itself, like it'll be more 15 years from now, it just could be more accessible, where yeah, he didn't have the knowledge of what to properly eat and what to really like put into his body. So now you have these experts where it's like he can hire a chef and
Yeah.
cook him all the proper meals. Probably, I'm not sure, but we do have it to where like just the way social media is set up, there's somebody out there with that knowledge, whether it be YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, to where they can show you like step by step, proper meals. This has this many grams of protein. The calorie intake is this, things of that nature. And all it is just paying attention, what to go get from the grocery store, and then step by
Yeah.
step how to make it. If you got to put it in the oven, how long do you need to put it in the oven, and then voila, it's
But all of
like
that, like, I don't know if you need to go through social media to find that out. Like, because if you're like chasing or pursuing, you find this fitness expert on social media, but then you look at this fitness person on social media and you like keep going to all these places when I could probably the education and nutrition hasn't probably changed in a very long time. Like humans, we've been around enough to where we kind of know things. I bet I could go into chat GPT right now and it would just give me general nutrition plans to follow. like a nutrition, fitness, as a human being, what to do. I'm gonna try that right now.
Probably, and because I feel like it's gonna. So what AI is gonna do is like it's gonna really go search just what the web has, and it provides you with, I guess, the best
Okay, I'm
the
writing, provide me a brief summary of how to live as a healthy, fit, and right, give me how to live as a healthy as a healthy individual, as a healthy human, specifically tell me a basic nutrition and fitness plans.
Let me ask you a personal question. Would you say that it's fair for us as humans to eat just one time a day? Or do you think three is like appropriate?
I usually do I'm usually around three. One time a day, I think that's too little.
Well, some people have like say like once a day is really appropriate. I believe I've read Islamic teachings, the Prophet ate like once a day. Um I believe even like Nation of Islam, they Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I believe he ate like once a day. Um, you have some people who kind of they get into that philosophy where the body does like only need like I guess you know to intake one time a day of food.
How big of a meal is it then?
That I'm not sure. Me personally, like
I get what you're saying there. I
yeah,
feel
but
like that, in order to do that, you have to start with a very strong mind.
yeah, oh for sure. True. During Ramadan, when like I'm fasting for 30 days, I think I go about like maybe 2 meals a day.
Like morning
So
and then night.
before I start my fast, and then when I break my fast, and then that's it. So, but normally, yeah, like outside of Ramadan, I'm trying to at least 3 or 4 times a day. I'm eating. Um, Yesterday I went up to five. I had a day like that where I was just eating. I was eating all day. Um, but normally, yeah, I would agree with three times a day is good.
Okay, let me bring up what Chat GPT says.
So
Okay,
eat whole
so
foods.
this is what I said. Provide me a brief summary of how to live as a healthy human. Specifically, tell me a basic nutrition and fitness plans. Okay, basic nutrition plan. Focus on foods with minimal ingredients, vegetables, fruits, lean proteins, nuts, seeds, whole grains. Balance your plate. Um, half vegetables and fruit, a quarter protein, and then a quarter grains. That's pretty simple. Stay hydrated, uh, drink water, limit ultra processed foods. Yeah, slow down, listen to hunger cues. Okay, basic fitness plan. All that I agree with and pretty much follow every day. And then also too, if I'm going to indulge in like candy or sugary foods, like I'm very aware like this is not like this thing I'm consuming should probably not be this red. It should probably not taste like this. It's not natural. Okay,
Hmm.
basic fitness plan. Move daily, which is something you emphasized. Um, Moderate. activity, walking, biking, dancing. That's one I'm looking to improve in actually.
And biking?
Um, no, dancing.
Oh, dancing?
I want to move more dancing wise. Uh,
Have you ever gave a have you ever thought about like a Zumba class?
no. I'm not talking classes. I'm just like in my studio, play some music and just move my body. You know, I don't think everything needs to be a class or pay admission to this and hire a
Yeah.
trainer for that. It's like these right here is just basic fundamentals. Okay, strength training. I'll do a lot of free weight stuff, and then I flip tires. Someone asked me yesterday what I do for a workout. I say I flip tires in the cow yard with a wa old
How
wagon wheel.
how
I
is
should
that?
record that and then put it
So
on YouTube. You can see it. Cardio, flexibility. We talked flexibility. Uh, okay, this is interesting. Like the rest and recovery. It says get 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Take 1 to 2 rest days a week to recover. Um, the sleep thing is interesting. That's something we haven't quite figured out yet. I think that's where the like 15 to 20 years from now, the
Mhm.
education we'll have on what sleep does for our body. I don't think we have much information on it yet.
What would you say? How many hours per night of sleep are you getting?
Okay. Hold on 1 second. Bonus principles. Consistency is better than perfection. Health is physical, mental, and emotional. Nature, sunlight, and community support well-being. Laugh, breathe deeply, reduce stress daily. So right here, you have something to follow that if you do it every day and like every week, you'll be in pretty good shape overall as far as being healthy.
Hmm.
I sleep, I aim for 8. I don't know if I told you this. I don't sleep in a bed. I sleep on the floor every night.
Why is that?
This is something I did about a year ago. So I moved from Chicago to rural Wisconsin
Mhm.
July last year. So I ran out my lease and then moved back um, here. And then around August, I decided to start sleeping on the floor, at least like to start the night. And because I would think about, I'm like really focused right now in the things I'm doing and how I'm living. And it dials up that intensity, that focus. Um, when I lived homeless, there would just be like mats, like 70 mats, 75 mats, just like right next to each other. And I
Mhm.
would think about that when I went to sleep. I'm just grateful to have a roof over my head and walls around
Yeah,
me and like
yeah.
security. And that's all I needed. And there's this feeling. So before I decided to do this, it felt like every night sleeping in a bed, it was just so redundant. It was here's the thing. I feel more alive sleeping on the floor. And I not only am more grateful, but I'm like an active participant in my life. Whereas in a bed, it just like it's too comfortable. And I think about people I look up to or live as Jesus, Buddha, Alexander. I don't think any of these dudes cared about if they had a bed or not. It was all about like a further higher purpose and just
Mm.
every day just continuing with that purpose. And so sleeping in a sleeping on the floor every night um, with less cushion and padding than I had in the homeless shelter, it it's like it keeps me it like feeds that purpose and
Mm.
that adrenaline. And then that's my standard. So if I go anywhere, if I'm cool just sleeping on the floor, my like I'm so low maintenance that I can pretty much be and go anywhere.
Do you prefer like sleeping bag, or you got like a little mattress that you just lay on the floor, no bed frame or nothing like that, or how do you
No,
go
I don't
about
have a
it?
mattress. So I have a an exercise mat. So it probably is like half an inch.
Oh, okay.
And then probably 6 months ago, I added a when I got rid of my bed, there's like this mattress pad that's maybe like an inch. It's not really foam. It's not like a high end foam, I would say. And then a blanket, and then a blanket on top and a pillow.
Mm,
But
that's pretty
it's
dope.
it's pretty bare bones. Today I'm actually looking forward to before we hopped on here, I set up the tent over in the woods. And I was just lying there on the ground in the tent with the windows open, so it's just the
Uh-huh.
screens. And I
Mm.
just lied there for a half hour. And I came back here, hopped on this call, and then I'm gonna maybe go back. Or tonight I'm gonna sleep over there. Um,
You still have you ever read that book I used to I asked you about? It's called
Walden, you're
Walt.
talking about
Yeah,
Walden,
Walt.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I read that. I read that back in like 2020, 2021.
yeah, that's a good book.
He uses too many big words that
Yeah.
I don't think I read at all.
Which is crazy.
I get the point. Like I live
Yeah.
it, but like
I don't know why something would like I don't know. I'd be infatuated with like a word that's big and I don't know it. Now I'm like curious to like look it up and just like have it in my library just in case. You know, never know when a word I might just use the word for just for fun's sake. But and I guess it's crazy. Do you feel back then without without television, right? How technology was back then, do you feel like people were more advanced back then than like we are now?
I think biologically we're the same. I don't think we've advanced or like digressed. Um, like how I think our
Like it
bodies pretty much haven't. I think we're still like as humans we haven't changed much. But yes, our
was
like societies have.
it seemed like well, it seemed like maybe they were more smarter back then than what we are now.
How so?
Um, so we had in one of my groups, we had this conversation. Just the pyramids, prime example. The people that might have built the pyramids all around, the world, just the technology, the equipment that they have. It's like we don't have that to this day. I don't think there's nobody that can even replicate the pyramids that are built now. And it just it that to not even understand the type of people that built that took some type of genius, right? Just to get everything aligned perfectly
Yeah, like
and
the math.
the map exactly the map of it. And there's this one temple, or it's this one pyramid, I want to say down down in South America. I had a One of my supervisors has showed me this. So every, I guess, first day of spring, how the pyramid is and how we're like when the sun rises, right? Just the alignment of it, it's like a snake that's like moving. And just to be able to build something like that, and there's no telling how long it even took to even build something like that and to get that perfectly aligned. That took some
Yeah.
type of genius. And I just feel like nowadays, and it's not to belittle us or nothing like that, but nowadays it's just like because of everything that's just being thrown at us simultaneously, like, all at once, instant, and it's instant gratification. It's, to sell you this, to sell you that, to sell you a dream, to sell you hope, to sell you happiness, to sell you lust. It's like we're not really using our we're not using our minds as we could be. Like, not a lot of us, right? There are a few that are using their minds to, create something, the next revolution or whatever the case may be. But it just seemed like for the most part, a lot of us were so distracted on like just happiness and entertainment. It's like we're not looking at the bigger picture or like something that's really meaningful that will outlive us. Long after we're gone, we're not
Yeah.
focused on that. And it
So we're
just seemed
like,
like, huh?
it's like, I think for us, the default is distraction. So how I think you do something great, like you were inferring, is to remove and get away from the screen time, the hours watching television, um, consumption, and like being still and like connecting with your mind and your body, and then use the tools and move forward.
Yeah.
For example, I feel very calm and relaxed today. This morning, I released my 17th album in 6 weeks, and I today I surpassed the Beatles catalog of 213 songs. So I have 215 songs right now, and I
Mm.
did that in 6 weeks because I developed the fundamentals with my mind, and then I became aware of the tools I have, and I'm like, I'm gonna go do that. So I did it, and I beat the Beatles
That's
today.
and that's really good. That's a milestone just to be able to. This is my goal. I'm trying to set as many songs out as like your idols. So the Beatles was your idols,
Yeah,
and like
yeah,
now
I agree.
to surpass that goal, it's like now it's like it's on to the next.
It is,
And
yeah.
just being like, not so many of us are like goal oriented, to where it's like we develop goals, we set goals, and we go, we strive now to execute our goals. Not so many of us is doing that, just focusing on these poems every week, and staying focused on that. It's like I want to have all my poems completed by the end of the year. And I want to have them published. I want to have my page to where it's like it's all my poems is out here, and this is like, anybody can go on my page and just there's a poem for anything. It's like, and to stay focused on that, because some people get discouraged. You could have got discouraged and just say, you know what, this is really getting boring, or this is not doing it for me. You know, um,
So you know what the
I'm
difference
not.
is, though?
Hmm.
That was never my goal even this year. I started making music because I wasn't listening to music that I was connecting with, and all the algorithms weren't feeding me what I wanted to hear. So it was like, I'm gonna play around. I'm gonna make my own music. And that process and just having fun and feeling like I'm playing after like I created like 4 albums in 16 days. And then I was like, I'm gonna go after the Beatles. And then that's how it happened. But it wasn't like out of
Hmm.
nowhere I had this goal. It was playing first, like having fun and then building on that, you know?
Mm.
If you're not having fun, the work and the art isn't going to be as good, I don't think.
Nah, I don't. I feel like just the work itself, you have to find fun in the work itself, because if not,
Yeah.
then it's like eventually you get burned out, overwhelmed. You get discouraged of just to keep on continuing to do the work. And I've been telling myself that lately too. Like, you have to find joy in just doing the work, because in the long haul, like when you look back and you see how much work you've completed, how much work you've done, that like internal gratification. It's like
Yeah.
it's to me, it's like so amazing. Just like when I did my first draft just on my essay in 60 pages of just I've never set a goal of anything, and just doing that felt, I felt alive. I felt like
Yeah.
I was
Alive. Alive. That's the word.
Yeah, like I felt like now I was focusing on something meaningful. You know, it's like I didn't have to sit like even though yeah, there's people out there that have done what I've done and are doing what I'm doing, you know, I know personally like from where I come from, my background and my inner circle, my peers, it's like nobody's doing, you know, what I'm doing. So that right there was like I was feeling more like I'm living life because this is something I enjoy doing. Like, yeah, like it comes with its mental pains at times, but overall, it's like I'm finding this satisfaction in doing what I'm doing, you know, the work I'm
Yeah.
doing. And it only gets better as like, okay, well, you finish one thing, it's like, you know, you give yourself a pat on the back and you keep going. You know, you produce more, you produce more, you produce
Well,
more. So
you know what's actually interesting is now what I'm energized by is I don't want to say resting. Going back to Kobe, there's this quote in the notebook called, well, so it's the Aspire Notebook. It's a book that I've published, and Kobe has this quote that rest at the end, not at the middle. And that's how I kind of feel with creating this catalog. It was intense, and I noticed other things kind of fell off. Like my studio is a lot more disorganized and unclean right now. I have a garden here in the field, and it's so full of weeds. I've been neglecting certain areas because I've been going really fast in this one particular area. And so now, like today, I'm just experiencing joy by lying on the ground in a tent, you know, in nature and doing nothing. Like I feel like that makes me feel alive too. Like it doesn't have to be this always 100% at the goal. It's like, you know, just being aware and thinking more in like modules. I'm a sprinter, not a marathon person. So I like to do like what I call full throttle and idle, because that's how
yeah.
you like run a deer. It's like you go all out, and then when you're done, you go back and idle, you rest, and then you go back again. And it's like rather than a lawn at the same tempo. Yeah.
I like well, that's crazy you say that. So in track, I'm a sprinter too. Um,
Yeah.
you know, I like the whole fast pace and let's get it done, let's get it done, you know, because not too many people can endure like a marathon race, you know, of watching it and stuff like that. Um, but here's what the thing I like about long distance running or even marathon running, right? So when I was when I was in prison, me and my cellmate, we had this commitment every Saturday morning we go out to the track and we run laps, right? So we got up to I want to say maybe 12 between 12 and 14 laps. I don't remember exactly which ones, but about 3 miles. And through the course of running these laps, right? It's like your mind, and you can look at this with anything. So your mind gets to a point where you want to stop. You'd
Hmm.
be like, hey, you know, you ran a mile at least. You know, that's more than what a lot of people in the yard is doing. It's more than what a lot of people in life is doing. Why not give yourself a break and enjoy the rest of your morning, right? But the goal is to run, let's just say the goal is to run 12 laps, right? This is the goal. But we only made it to four. So we have 8 more laps to go. But the fact that I ran past a mile, it's like that my mind is like, hey, like you can stop, you know, take a break. It's okay to take a break. It's like it's tricking me. It's like it's now it's pushing through, you know, just that urge to like just stop and like not obtain like what you focused on. You know, it's like your mind is trying to find every excuse to why you can do this and why you can do that. Like to like it's pushing yourself past that comfort zone, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and I just like that. Just yeah, the whole running fast one lap. Like yeah, it might seem like it's very strenuous and it's tiring, but it gets done so fast. But to go at a solid pace for laps and laps and laps and laps and going miles of running, it's like right there. It's like you pushing yourself beyond your limits. And I feel like for me, like just running a marathon or just running miles is a good analogy of life. You know, it's like how far can I push myself? And even if I feel like I've gone to that point, right? I'm at my limit. Can I push myself further and keep going right there? Because if I haven't fell out completely to the point of just total exhaustion, then it's like I feel like I can keep going. You know, I can keep going. I remember I read it's this guy, David Goggins.
Yeah, I know
Can't
you're a yeah, you're a Goggins guy, yeah.
yeah, so Can't Hurt Me. It's a magnificent book. And
Did I get you that book? I think I sent you that book.
you absolutely did. So and I asked you to send me that too. You did. So, but part of the book was so he ran this one marathon where he had to run for 24 hours straight. And I believe it was like
Okay.
100 miles. So he never trained for it. It's just the fact that he was already a Navy SEAL. You know, he felt like because he went through the buzz training and that he was a Navy SEAL, he was in shape to do this, which he was. And like, in a way, he was in shape to do it and he did it, right? But at the end of it, you know, he had urine running down his legs, diarrhea coming out of him. You know, like it was bad. But he wanted to really see how far his body can go past its limit. And right there, it's like whether it be writing or any craft that you or I or anybody out there that involved with, you know, it comes those times where it's like you know, when I'm writing, I feel like, okay, well, my goal is to write 5 pages a day, but maybe I'm at 2 pages and I feel like, you know what, I've written enough. You know, that's good. No, like I have three more. It's like I have to force myself to get through it because in the long run, it's like I'm making my body or making my mind more stronger, you know? And
Yeah.
for me, that's like I've always like now, like I start seeing just the importance of like just the marathon runners. You know, and I see like, man, like it takes a lot of mental toughness just to be able to run miles and miles and miles. Like to even train when you're doing it, like that takes real mental toughness.
See, but yeah, I get that, but I don't see much use out of it. Like, I know you can get off on, that mind high and pushing yourself, but like logistically, in the world today, running like 26 miles, it's not of use. Like running to the train stop, like quarter miles, getting good at those, that's useful. You can use that every single day. You're running late for the bus or train, you get good at those quarter miles.
Yeah, well, the I think the only good use of it is just the endurance. You know, it's like it's saying like, hey, like who can outrun me in a way, or I can outrun you.
Yeah,
Um, because yeah, you could be the fastest person, but yet it's like how many people can outrun the fastest person in the world? And it's
right.
like, I think that's a more like there's a more level of respect when you can really outrun somebody for miles. Like I can go 15 laps straight. Like, yeah, you might be able to outrun me for one lap faster than me too, but to go 15, like, you know, to me that's like a different level of respect.
I feel like the overall theme of what we're trying to get at is like right now in society, you come into society, you won't ever know your limits or what you're capable of because it's just comfortable. Like the default now is comfort in a way. So you have to almost strip the comfort to then go after like and really see what you're capable of.
No, that's yeah, that's crazy you say
Is
that.
that what we're
So
trying to say in this
no,
episode?
no, no, for sure. It's living in that discomfort, you know, and that's really what it is. It's like it go back to okay, yeah, like we live in a world where everything is being thrown at us simultaneously, like, just people trying to sell you hope, happiness, comfort, and these are the distractions that we try to focus on, things that, make us feel good. It's staying in our comfort zone, but going to the gym every day to wake up early in the morning, that's really like even on a weekend where it's like it's convenient. You don't have work. I don't have nothing to do. I don't have nothing planned. You know, I can afford to sleep in, but to say like fuck that, like excuse me, like I'm going to like get up in the morning still and go work out, like where I could be in bed, like nice and comfortable. Like that's getting out of that discomfort. But that's to me, I see like that's really where the growth is. Like that's really where growth is. Like all my times of sleeping on that hard mat, getting up in the morning to pray and just to work out, like where I don't have to do this. Like I don't have nothing going on. Like I'm literally sitting in the cell for 23 hours out the day, but yet I still get up in the morning and I go work out. And I still do that, here where it's like I get up in the morning, I go work out, and then I start my day off like that
This
every
is
day.
uh this is a little bit of a side note, but do you pray 5 times a day?
Kind of got it down. I reduced it now. Not as much as when I was in prison.
Okay.
Um, so at least maybe three times. I know I get up in the morning, pray. Some days I probably won't just I'll be busy with other stuff, but right now it's just three.
Okay.
Yeah. But even that too, like just so when I was doing that 5 times a day for 2 years straight, that took discipline as well. And that was getting out of your
Yeah.
comfort zone of really like sometimes you might be watching TV, your favorite, you have a favorite show or whatever. And it's like maybe it's this one part where it's like, oh my gosh, it's getting good. But you gotta go pray real quick. So it's to get out of that, and I looked at that, it's like getting out of that comfort zone, it's like you're taking control of what's important to you. It's like you're not letting these, external things or these material things take control of you, you know? That's kind of like what that taught me in a way. But
Yeah,
the
I
whole
keep track. Go ahead.
Nah, it was just the whole discomfort. I've been really trying to in my head just focus on that every day, Monday through Sunday. It's that discomfort. Like what takes me out of my comfort zone and focus on that because that's really where I'm going to be able to grow as an individual.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been keeping track of I call it like gratitude. Like 5 times a day to practice gratitude. And then I keep track of like during the week how often I do that and stuff. Um, and I find it just like taking a moment and just being grateful for something or whatever, some things you notice. Like I think overall that adds to the well-being. So I was curious if you still practice that 5 times a day.
Not 5 times a day,
Yeah, you're
but
slacking now.
it's
You're down to three.
yeah, nah, you can say that. You can say that.
Mr.
Which
Discipline over here. Mr. Discomfort.
yeah, nah, and you're absolutely right. Especially with that part, I need to get back to that. Just that
See,
level
there
of
you go.
focus
There you
and
go.
and
There's
distance.
something to
Yeah.
work on.
Nah, for sure, for sure. Just to yeah, get back to that. I feel like I do need to get back to that. Because maybe that helped me too. Like some days I don't like I used to feel off balance, but I feel balanced. But I think spiritually, right? I can always be still feeding my spirit. I feel
I
like,
feel
yeah,
like it's healthy to just like not always be full throttle, but take a step back, be aware, view what's happening so you can attack with more velocity, whatever you do.
Now
Full
that you
throttle
mention
and
that,
idle.
now that you mention that, yeah, I gotta get back to that. I gotta get back
Yeah.
focused on that for
Okay.
sure.
Well, on that note, it's been a great conversation, great recording. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Rich. Thanks for having me.